final match of the day, afternoon, night, depending on where you are. So let's see who's going to be the last semifinalist. Okay. All right, so we've got two of the key three drops there for Gaara. Going to keep both of them, maybe. There's a good number
All
of
right.
traps, so the Eagle Horn damage could be a big, could play a big role in this matchup
Yeah.
here.
But you'd rather have mad scientist for sure, your Gaara.
Yeah.
Like the mad
Oh, that's not
scientist
good.
generates the tempo, and it's an early drop. Like you don't want to play traps on turn 2 for your bow. That feels really weak.
Yeah.
Okay, now Trump
Ooh, good
with
draw.
the miracle, he needs to get like early stabilization with like backstab SI7 agent, and then eventually there's gonna be like he's gonna be taking damage a lot in the early game up until a certain point where he hits a bunch of draws and then decisively answers the board. And then Hunter gets a chance to respond with like high main, but then that's where Rogue saps, and then Shadow Step Leroy's the follow throughs to kill. So it's very Hunter dominant early on until Miracle can answer everything. And if they can't, then they lose really early. But if they can, then it comes down to whether or not Rogue has gadgets and draws.
Okay, well, Gar ends up getting Huffer right off the bat. That's going to be quite good for
Oof.
him, actually. He's going to do 8 damage to the Rogue early on like that. Not the greatest start for Trump there.
No, and Gara has Lotheb, so if Trump ends up locking down something like Gadget and Auctioneer, he might still be in
Yeah.
trouble.
Oh, he's going to
Whew.
have to actually hit into this Lepronome, too.
You can make a
Another 4
case to
damage.
sap it, but 4 damage is pretty intense.
Yeah.
All right, well, Gara, barring any other card you could draw, looks like he'll play the bow here.
I mean, it's pretty good shape to even play the bow. Just continue just hitting the face here. Go aggro style here.
I mean, you could bow and hold if you feel like you want to keep it for Farseer, the inevitable Farseer.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that too.
I mean, he really doesn't have any other play. You can't play Unleashed now. I mean, you can, as the game will allow you to, but nothing will happen. And you think that's ridiculous, but I've seen it happen once on stream before. Like a player tried playing Unleash the Hounds on an empty board.
Ouch. Wrecked.
Yeah, I won't say who it is though to kind of keep. I'll
Is it
keep his
somebody
secret.
very well known?
Yes, it's actually someone
Oh.
that people would be surprised if they heard it.
Oh, okay.
The funny thing is that I don't want to give any more clues actually about it.
Yeah, trying to get clues
But the
from you.
funny thing is, he ended up doing very well in the tournament too. Like despite this error, ended up going very far.
Oh, okay. I think I remember what event you're talking about now. Okay, well, this is a tough turn. Lotha, really great timing here. Just removed the Drake, and Trump really has. He's not going to play the Auctioneer here and just lose it to Lotheb, so not a very great play by Trump, and he's on the edge of. He's like really close
Right.
to dying, and he's looking at a
Man.
high main turn too. It's really bad.
Well, he's got sap, so that's like
Ooh,
something you're
two.
actually hoping. You're actually hoping that Hunter's not doing damage and building up the board, so that way you can leverage sap to buy you time, and then that gives you this small little window of where you're done taking damage. Like this is what we're talking about. There's a turning point where Miracle Rogue will stop taking damage if they can clear the board, and then maybe draw into Leroy combos to end the game. But it's very frantic, and it depends on how Hunter takes the turn. If Gar slams down high main, um, and Trump can answer it perfectly, then there might be an opportunity for Trump to climb back. But he has to deal with effectively 10 health worth of minions, and you can't
Yeah, I
sap
mean,
both.
yeah, he's gonna have to figure out a way to sap both of them, which he does have prep. He does have prep, and he can sap both of them.
Okay. Eviscerate actually clears this
Actually,
Lotheb.
eviscerate's even better.
So this is good for Trump, but
Now he's
he
looking at
might be
unleash
better
though.
served. He might be better served. I think he might be better served using Cold Blood if he wants to draw another card, like potentially conceal. Okay. Because like the Cold
Well,
Blood
that's true.
allows the Thanos to trade in and then draw a card.
Yeah.
All right, so Leroy
Okay.
Shadow
Well,
Step,
yeah, Leroy Shadow Step.
Cold Blood. That's 16 plus the 5 and 6 damage on the weapons. So that's 22. And Gaara's at what, Janman? I can't see it.
Gaara is at. Oh gosh, I can't tell either.
Okay, well, it looks like
20
he's at
on
23
stream.
by my count, which means he would be 1 damage. And Trump needs to attack with his weapon, actually, if that's the case. Oh, all right. Well, he's going to bank on Blade Flurry being a card that he draws. Or, sorry, not Blade Flurry, Deadly Poison. Meanwhile, Gaara wants to answer this Gadget Stand, and he can with Buzzard Unleash and Weapon. But let's see what he draws first. He might not have to use a weapon at all.
Really needs a hunter's mark. He's already used one though.
Oh, Direwolf
Okay,
is perfect.
you got Wolf. Yeah, you got Wolf. Wolf, Wolf. All right. So we can remove the Gadget Zan.
uh, is that the sound that Direwolf Alpha makes? He says its own name. It's like a Pokemon.
Uh, oh, hyena. Oh man, that would have been nice to combo with there.
You gotta kill Gadgetzan, right? There's no way you
Oh,
can just
for
ignore him and
sure.
go for face.
Well, let's see. If he
He can
is there a
Farseer.
winning condition for him? He might be looking for a winning condition here next turn
He's got
or something.
7. His opponent's looks to be like at 11.
All
And
right.
that's just not enough guarantee.
Yeah,
I
taking
think
the
you gotta
safe route,
use
just
this.
remove it. Yeah. Still force your opponent to have to deal with these two minions, and you still got high main behind it. You still got a lot of
Oh.
good plays behind it. Another gadget, man.
Trump draws Gadgetzan number 2, but he might feel obligated to take out what's on board and heal up with Farseer.
So many options.
Yeah, I think so. I think healing up would. Well, let me think. So Leroy would be 6. Could kill command. He's got 8 mana next turn. Pretty hard to
Let's see
die. I
what he
think he
draws
needs.
off fan. Oh man, preparation. If he had preparation, he could have done like a big series of draws before that and still Farseer this turn. As
Well, he
such,
could.
he might have
He
to just go for like a big Van Cleef.
Yeah, I think the Van Cleef play could be pretty good. He could just what blade? He could actually blade flurry into Van Cleef here. Oh, he's gonna
Yeah, I think
swing
so.
into him.
Oh,
Oh, he's gonna no,
of
he's gonna help
course.
for the heal. Okay,
Oh man, I don't know if I like that as much. I
it
can
definitely.
understand why, but the thing is like if you like went for preparation blade, like your opponent needs to have specifically like a beast and houndmaster to stop you, or hunter's mark and then like a beast or something like to kill it, and then you're kind of happy that it's not going. I don't
Well,
know. I
I
feel
mean,
like
one.
that was like another opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're not giving up Shadow Step. That's the thing you don't want to give up the most. Because Leroy and Shadow Step is your burst. And if you had like a bigger Van Cleef, like say he prepped Blade Flurry Van Cleef, that would have been at least an 8/8. And that's the damage that you make up for with like Leroy. Now he's still dependent on second Shadow Step, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely dependent upon second Shadow Step. So you're
Because he's only
definitely
got
right about
16
that. It
from
gives him
hand.
exactly. It gives him exactly lethal if the Earthen Ring stays and he draws the second Shadow Step plus the dagger. So that's what he's hoping for. I mean, well, that's obviously just best case scenario for him. Low percentage, but
Hmm.
yeah, I would have liked the bigger Edwin for sure. He gained 1 health on that.
All
Well, I mean, he
right.
could have
Well,
used the
Gaara doesn't
blaze.
get
I don't know.
Huffer.
Yeah, fortunate for.
Trump really hopes that there's nothing that you can do off this Leok here.
What does Gar play here? Does he remove the?
Yeah, you have to
Yeah, I
remove.
gotta
Like
remove it.
Farseer
The
represents too much of like what you're trying to do. Like he's too much of a threat. Like he can heal you, he can kill off your minions,
yeah. hmm
and like that's just too much. Deadly poison.
Poison. That's
Oh
gonna
wait,
be
he's
great.
got it. I think
Does he?
Leroy Shadow Step, Cold
6.
Blood
Yeah.
is 16, and then you can
Oh
Preparation Blade Flurry. Oh no, you don't have enough mana
no,
though.
no, no, he
No, you're
doesn't.
1 mana short.
Cool. See, 3.
No, I think you wait. You have it. You have it. The preparation allows you to use Blade Flurry
Wait,
for 2 mana, so you should be able to do it. Leroy Shadow
wait,
Step
wait.
is
Okay.
6. Deadly Poison, attack, and then actually you don't even need it. Preparation Blade Flurry, just that.
Wait. So Leroy, then Shadow Step is
Leroy
12,
Shadow
right?
Step is
And then
6.
poison.
Cold Blood is 16
Oh,
damage,
cold
and
blood.
then
Yeah, cold blood
Blade
is
Flurry
16.
with
22. Yeah.
Poison
Yeah,
is
you're right.
22.
hmm
Uh-oh.
He
So
sees it.
Gaara is gonna drop his 100 deck
Yep.
here, it looks like. Assuming I'm having the health counts correct, but I think Trump counted out too.
Yeah,
And
that's correct.
it's a very important win for Trump because taking out the 100 deck has paid off for him.
Yeah. And leaving the hunter deck in there. I mean, it didn't really hurt him at all. So Trump definitely. Okay. Well, all right. So we're gonna be going into game number 2. There. Sorry about that. We just cut off there for a second. But yeah, Trump goes up 1. Yeah. Let's go into game number 2, and then we'll continue our secret talk here. Yeah, I think the mirror entity counterspell is the one I hate the most playing against. But
You asked for
mirror entity, I don't know. When I'm playing mage, I really like it.
I like Spellbender. Such a fun card because it messes
Oh,
with people in
Spellbender.
ways that they don't realize.
Man,
Yeah.
I tried for the longest time making Spellbender work in a giant mage, where you can protect Twilight Drakes and giants from removal. So that like whatever it is, like an executor, whatever hits the Spellbender. Man, that was painful. It was painful trying to make it work. But did you know an execute, if you actually cast an execute on a Spellbender, the Spellbender dies even though it's not injured.
Right, that's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
it makes sense. It's based off the text.
Yeah.
My favorite secret, I think, because actually my favorite scenario was like one time I had Spellbender and it Shadow Stepped it, and then like it went to my opponent's hand, which was funny.
Oh wow.
I think this opening
Okay.
hand for Trump is pretty damn good. He's got double 5 drops that can draw cards. He's got Azure Drake, and he's
Yeah.
also got the Gadgetzan Auctioneer. So this is really strong. Gaara is gonna have to be reliant on drawing good cards and pressuring with his Azure Drake.
Yeah, I mean the pressure doesn't come until turn 4 either. So Trump, really lining up that gadget Zan. Really, he's got the coin too. This is crazy. I can throw out just put at least some pressure out early with the Earthen Ring. Just thinking about it. Yeah, we'll see how this lines up. Both decks actually really come into power late game here, so we'll see if these ice blocks actually play a big role too.
Okay, well, Trump doesn't have a way to actually kill this, so he might have to sap, or he might ignore it even. But ignoring it loses your Farseer, so you're not happy about that. You have to treat this matchup like handlock in a sense. And then, like, the equivalent of taunting up giants would be Ice Block.
Oh,
So he is going to ignore it. He's got so many spells, like, it's fine that he's giving up coin, honestly.
God, he's got conceal now too. This is gonna be some crazy draw we're about to see from the auctioneer.
Wow. If there's one problematic card for sure from Mage, other than the myriad of threats they have, it's Water Elemental because of its effect.
Yeah, eliminates that dagger, eliminates the poison damage. Trump's got two saps now, so if he can just get
So many
some type, just a tiny bit of leverage, get that auctioneer down concealed, and then you can actually draw while just removing your opponent's board completely on the following turn. It's going to be really good. This is right before Flame Strike turn, and Gaara doesn't even have Flame Strike yet anyway, so this is potentially really good for him. I guess
Yeah.
it's just going to do it now, actually.
Well,
Get-
there's no
get
other
Gar-
play. The other play was to do nothing effectively. Just sap and then attack and pass, which was bad. I think you can also have an opportunity to just cold blood here and push damage and then just conceal
yeah.
afterwards. Wow. Trump being aggressive.
Yeah,
Good for
this
you.
is-
Now, this is weak to just a Frost Nova, but at the same time, Gaijin is likely not to die unless your opponent has an amazing way to kill it somehow. But now Gar will be prompted to play Ice Block.
Yeah, definitely going to be afraid of dying this next turn to an early combo. Doesn't even need that much of a combo. He's looking at 11 damage right now on the board. He can't do anything
Yeah.
about it. It's looking pretty bad for Gaara right now. You can turn around quick though. He
Just want to
can,
draw.
yeah, ice block or ice block and
Well,
draw.
maybe he doesn't feel threatened enough to Ice Block yet, so he can Frost Nova. Like, his opponent's still on only 6 mana.
True.
Ooh,
Oh,
Flame
there you
Strike
go.
is nice to draw for the
Really
following
needs
turn.
now the Nova's great. Yeah,
Yep.
perfect. Okay, he definitely needed that. That was huge. All right, now all that damage that's on the board is negated, but Trump still gets full turn of
Here we
cycling
go. We're gonna see a lot of cards.
here. Yes, we are.
Backstab. Oh, maybe double SI7 doesn't mean that many cards.
Double SI7 would be not. He's got a lot of cards too, so if he shift, he'd actually be at. Oh, he'd be at 9. That'd be okay. Anything that gets on the board is just going to be gone the next turn. But what does he need the XI? He needs the SI7 to actually remove this stuff, though.
I wonder.
I think you care more about the Water Elemental than the Drake.
Mhm.
The 4 damage Drake is not that big a deal. So you... This is difficult, though.
Yeah. Another option would be to actually sap both of these minions. But you know there's a Belcher in this deck.
Yeah. Belcher's are too powerful against Miracle. Thanos Shiv?
Too soon.
Face?
Wow, he wants Leroy badly. He says, well, forget all this. I need to actually have a way to kill my opponent. So he's changed course of action. And he's running out of time. He needs to actually drop minions or else he risks
Overdrawing.
wasting the rest of his turn. Yeah.
Two.
Okay.
There we go. All right, big
Watch.
turn for Gaara here. Or just
Watch him
flame
all.
strike. Exactly. Then doing freezing your opponent again and doing 7 damage, really setting up for. Does he have lethal next turn? I can't tell what the health's at. He does have Rag in his hand. Okay, so 18.
It would if his opponent has second Cold Blood or Prep Eviscerate, but along with Leroy, of course, because then that would allow you to combo damage. But Trump has, it seems like he has everything but Leroy. Like he's got
everything
removal,
but
he's got
Leroy.
AoE.
He can't quite remove this board though. Outside of saps, he's got
Yeah.
eight mana would be actually really good for him right now, but he's a little short.
Well, while we're on that topic, Leroy would be good right now too. Oh,
Yeah.
deadly
Okay.
poison, but not enough mana to
Oh,
use Blade
just
Flurry.
ah, lunge.
That is
Ooh,
painful.
this is bad. This is bad. Does he have to? No, he's just gonna try to draw again. And oh man,
Does he
he's
have a
got a
full
lot
hand?
of cards. He's got. Oh my gosh, Frodan.
Wait, I think he might have
He's
a
got
full
a
hand.
full hand. If he doesn't die here and burns Roy, oh man. Oh, is it 9? Okay,
Okay.
it's only 9. All right, so he's still got room. God, that was scary.
Yeah, develop ice block for sure. Now you're aware of
Yeah.
Leroy Shadow Step.
No,
No,
it was.
it's
Oh
10
my
cards.
God, it was
I thought you
10.
said it was
It
9.
was.
Chan, you said it was 9.
Yeah, Milk told me it was
Chan,
9,
you
man.
said it was 9. Chan man
Milk told me,
lied.
Milk told me it was 9,
Oh my
dude.
god, Trump lost his
Yeah.
Leroy. And Gaara says, you know what? I'm really sorry for your
That's what
loss.
I thought,
And
man.
you
That's
have
why I
to
was like,
deal with that.
oh
I'm so sorry, that was
no.
me.
It's all good. But losing
Oh
Leroy, that's
man.
the game right there. That is heartbreaking. It might have been. It would have been tough for him actually, even with the ice block. But
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how he'd
But
actually push through anyways. But that
oh,
like sealed the deal. Oh man. You know what? That was kind of poetic of
that's
how September 22nd will feel for a lot of Miracle players. Just Leroy
yeah.
disappearing and poofing.
Oh gosh. No, but in the end, I don't know if it would have played a role here because even if he pop, let's just say he pops it, right?
This
And
guy's toast.
it still could be really hard for him to stay alive next turn, actually. And Gar still has another ice block
Ha, this guy's toast.
Too soon.
because he would have to deal with all those whelps too. So he had exactly 18 with the shadow step.
Oh man.
It's just
He has to
heartbreaking.
use Shadow Steps to kill off this Drake. And Gaara feels really far. Oh no, Trump is so distraught, and I don't blame him. Gosh. Alright, is there a way for Gaara to seal a win? His opponent's at 9 health, right? So he can't even rag coin flip. Yeah, it's still not over at the moment.
He still might want to though. I mean, rag coin flip isn't bad. I mean, you kill a minion worst case, and he has to sap that he has to sap him.
It's true.
Yeah,
if
I
it
mean,
hits face, he can also just hero power
he
for
can't
the
die
win.
this turn. Yeah, he can't die this turn. He can't die next turn either. So it's a pretty safe rag play there.
Alright, hits the SI7. Man, Trump, how are you gonna do this? I don't know. Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry. I think I think you don't. I think you don't sap him. You backstab, then you Fan of Knives, Blade Flurry. Hopefully you get some other kind of damage.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
Eviscerate. Wow.
Okay.
How-
Getting
How
closer.
much health is
but-
he at? I can't see how much health Gaara is at.
Here we go.
Looks to be like 18, 13 now. Did he pop him though?
Doesn't look like it.
Hey,
Do you pop him or
lights out.
does he? I can't tell
Is
actually.
he 1 damage off popping? No, he can
He's
Shadow
1
Step.
damage.
He can Shadow
Oh, yeah,
Step.
he can
Oh my
Shadow Step.
goodness, Trump has managed to pop it?
Yeah, he's managed to pop the ice block, but again, Guard has another ice block though, and he can actually
That
get
is
a fireball
impressive.
off this ice. He can get a fireball off this ice block, but yeah, all that burst of damage is pretty impressive from Trump there. Wow.
Oh yeah. Antonidas Ice Block will give him that fireball, and then you have to sap Antonidas, and then your opponent can still draw. Or you can Ice Block Frost Nova. Oh, you know what? Gaara takes the best way out there, actually. We forgot about it. Alex Straza. Okay. Well, this is all of a sudden a game.
Hey, lights out.
Oh my goodness. This is actually definitely a game now.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
All right. Well, there's no charger, so Gaara can still go Antonidas. You can still go Antonitis. What's it called? Help me here. Frost Nova, Chan man.
Frost Nova. Let's see.
There you go. Because Frost Nova freezes all the minions here, and then now he
Yeah.
has 9 guaranteed damage. So now his opponent needs to draw Farseer, but first you sap.
You gotta sap for
I'm
sure.
almost out of
Okay, so you would.
Oh no! He can't
Oh.
play any more spells. He's gonna
Oh,
start
no.
taking fatigue damage.
Oh man, he's totally handcuffed. Oh, that auctioneer.
Does he have a Farseer left? He needs to eviscerate and
Let me
Farseer.
see. I know. I'm trying to see if he does. He used one.
Right, he used one. If he has a second Farseer, he
No,
needs it,
he
or else he's
doesn't.
dead.
He only has one.
Ah. All right. Well, then what's the last card in his deck? Now I'm wondering.
Well, he's got a.
His opponent has 7 damage, and he'd take 1 from fatigue if he draws it. So the consequence is about the same for Trump. You can't use Phantom Knives, that's just dead. But the Eviscerate is what it's all about.
Do you wait on the Viscerate for a possible? I mean, in his mind, right, a possible draw or something. What happens if you? When does the auctioneer draw happen? After the spell hits, right?
It draws as many of these spells played, so it would definitely affect him fatigue-wise.
Oh, you
Trump-
kill him first.
Gonna lose his Miracle, and Gaara is gonna be able to tie up the series. But man,
Wow.
what a crazy
What a-
moment.
That was a crazy ending. Let's see how this ends up working out here for both players. We're gonna go
Says Gul'dan.
on to game number 3 right now. Labels that deck Strife Crow. Each of his decks are labeled after
You
a
asked
person,
for
just
it.
giving tribute, I guess, to the deck builder there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, or maybe
All right, so-
it's a person that he wants to take out in the tournament with.
Well, Stripes are not in the tournament anymore, so he's not going to be able to do that. And Ragnaros in his hand. We saw some crazy rag action in Handlock yesterday. See if we'll see some more today.
Yeah, you know, most times us casters, if we have to be honest, throw out the term crazy a little too liberally, but yesterday RDU versus Kunkin was actually crazy.
Loco, yes. Oh my goodness. One of those highlights too, the trolling highlight too. I think summed it up in a pretty good fashion there. But okay, Trump off to a terrible start actually. Doesn't have a Twilight Drake or a Mountain Giant. Maybe he wants to play the Farseer just to get something out on the board, but nothing so far.
Yeah, it still has time to do stuff. Not to mention that Trump can also play a minion on turn 3, which is important, whether it's Farseer or Ancient Watcher. But yeah, you want something by next turn. And it looks like he's holding situational cards at the moment, so... the reason why I think Ancient Watcher, or sorry, Farseer is better is because Ancient Watcher and Sun Fury can go down next turn, and then you actually have an immediate
Right.
ability to take out this Mad Scientist.
All right.
Oh,
Charles
nice pickup here
draws-
for Trump.
Yeah, definitely. Just in the nick of time, he gets that Mountain Giant. And Gar's already got 2 minions on the board. He can, he might be able to deal with this a little bit easier. He's got 2 Frostbolts too. The Farseer can take out that Mad Scientist right now.
Trump also saw Gar's mage from yesterday, so he knows his opponent probably doesn't play with Mirror Entity. But just in case, out
Yeah.
of good habit, you should play it first before you attack the minion. So that way, if Gaara somehow got Mirror Entity and then all of a sudden it summoned it and made a copy, he'd be in trouble.
Yeah, so that's a nice advantage that he has going into day 2, where he's able to check out, you know, what Gar was playing yesterday. But yeah, those type of plays right there, when you're playing on the ladder, those can be hair-pulling plays, because it's like, I want to play my Mountain Giant so bad, but if my opponent gets a Mountain Giant, I'm just screwed, potentially screwed. So definitely nice for Trump there to be able to play around, just knowing it's this mage. All right,
Yep.
so freeze the opponent doesn't have much of a effect on the Warlock. Warlock has no hero power or ability to attack.
Did you ever
No
make that
follow-up.
mistake in the beginning, Chan Man? of Heart when you started playing Hearthstone that you thought like freeze would stop hero powers?
Oh, I know what you mean. Maybe in the very, very beginning. Yeah.
When I first started playing Hearthstone, I made that mistake. That's for sure.
Yeah. Then the mage
All right.
just kept pinging me.
Yeah, right. Gaara went for a tempo play because he realized he wanted to protect his water elemental as much as he could, and then this opens up Sylvanas' possibility. And he
Like
really
that.
hopes his opponent doesn't have Ironbeak Owl to do some removal, but Trump doesn't actually have it, so kind of works out. But Trump always could draw it off the top.
Okay, and Trump's getting pretty low here. He's down to 17, and his opponent's representing 8 on the board, and one of them's such a problematic minion in Sylvanas here. Doesn't have the
Yeah.
owl to silence it, and kind of
Do
scary
you really
here.
care though? I mean, the fact is, Ancient Watcher is like up right now. So like your opponent takes your Ancient Watcher, but he can't really make use of it. He doesn't have any taunt givers. It's
Oh, I
just
see.
kind of
Just
sitting.
trade into it. Yeah, that's a
Not
good point.
necessarily as obvious as like trade into it, but maybe he does something else. Like I'm trying to think of an alternative. But are you so sad to give away an Ancient Watcher?
Which secret is that he has? Is
That's
it
a good
duplicate?
question. Did we
Oh, if
check?
it's duplicate, that'd be terrible. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you have to check first if it's duplicate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool mind game too. Gaara hasn't shown if this is a duplicate or mirror entity, or mirror duplicate or ice block. Excuse me.
Ice block.
It is
Okay,
ice
so
block.
now he knows. Yeah. Okay, so he's got the Ancient Watcher wall there. Fortunately, his Mountain Giant's going to be frozen for the next turn. Okay, so this is an opportunity to maybe be able to get 2 more Sylvanas. But I feel like playing something against this board is going to be more important on this turn. He does have a potential rag the following turn. But then that's going to be susceptible to Siphon. What do you do here, Frodian? What do you think? Be a little bit more passive and just let Sylvanas. I don't know. Just try to be and just get as much value as possible here, or do you actually try to support Sylvanas the play so that you're not, way behind on the board when it finally does hit?
I kind of like Sludge Belcher and Ping the Mountain Giant because
Okay.
over the course of 2 turns you can use that 4 mana to kill off the giant, and then you can save your Frostbolt for something else. At
Yeah.
the same time, the Frostbolt could also represent the ability to call it freeze another threat. Arcane Intellect is like, what do you want to dig for at the moment?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's like duplicate's tough here because your opponent could just ignore Sylvanas and just not trigger duplicate.
Because if you play Duplicate, I'm okay with playing Duplicate too, but I felt like he wanted to draw into Flame Strike, so that way next turn he could Flame Strike and then like whatever minion he plays or reactive, he has the opportunity to use Sylvanas again. But yeah, like say in this scenario you lost Sylvanas and you ping the 8-2 to 8-1, then next turn you can play Sylvanas again and then ping the giant and then threaten whatever's on board. So that was like the idea that I thought. But I think
Yeah.
Gaara was digging for a specific card. I just don't know what it was.
Oh, and this is a pretty tough decision for Trump too. I mean, I think ideally he'd like to control the situation with Sylvanas, and maybe give this the worst possibility of him taking something valuable. And honestly, there's not that much valuable. He takes a giant, he could still remove it with the Sun Fury. But the problem now is that a duplicate's actually just been played there. So you can't give him 2 Sylvanas. That'd be really bad. And then if you play a giant here like this, then you're risking losing this potentially next turn. So
Oh man.
this is tough.
Okay, well, now Gaara has flexibility with how he wants to do this. He could potentially steal a giant, like Frostbolt the 2/3,
Yeah.
Suicide
66%.
Sylvanas in, and then like play Sludge Belcher, and then you take one of the giants. It'd be really unlucky to not take a giant.
Yeah, he's got like a 66% chance of taking a giant there, and see 6 mana to play behind it. Yeah, Sludge Belcher would be nice. You might even be able to get away with playing Karen there.
What to do? What to
But
do?
if
I think
Sludge
you
Belcher
want
would
Sludge Belchers
guarantee,
though.
yeah,
I think
Sludge
you
Belcher
want
would
the
guarantee,
guarantee of Sludge Belcher.
yeah, the duplicate.
I'm trying to think of another line of play that Gaara can take involving maybe the 4 mana creatures, but they feel very weak. The problem of
Yeah.
trying to take a more board-centric approach without like using Frostbolt is that the mountain giants, if they don't get taken, potentially can pop your bubble. Oh, he takes the most
Wow.
healthy one and he goes for Ragnaros.
Oh, he was going for
That was also
Rag.
another alternative, but this one is very, well, let's just say it's very YOLO. Let's just say that.
For show. This is for show.
Oh.
That's what it is. Oh my gosh, that's him in the
That's
face.
bad.
This
Uh-oh.
is really bad. Oh man.
Wow. Hold on. There
Okay,
is a
wait. Let's.
lot
Well, I
of
think
things
it's
Trump
bad.
can do now.
I think. Oh, he has Siphon too. Oh my gosh.
He's got Shadow
that
Flame,
was
so
really. Oh, Shadow
hack
Flame
in.
too.
You got 13, 17. You have 13, 15 with Leroy. No, you can't do that. You have to Shadow.
You can't
Flame.
pop it. Well, I mean, you have to remove this stuff. Yeah. So just
Well, if you can do
remove
both, why
it.
not?
Can you? Let's see.
Well, just Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame is your removal. Interestingly enough,
Yeah.
I
slow-
think Mountain Giant ends up being the one duplicated because it was on his side first, right? So then, like,
wouldn't
Gargoyle
quite
gets
put him there
two
either.
Mountain Giants.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Oh wow, they're gonna be really cheap too. They'll be like 4 or 3. So he could throw down 2 more to counter. Oh wow, we're gonna. This is great. Look at the amount of giants we're seeing. This is silly, man.
Yep. Shadow Flame, and then
Yep.
you can play taunts
Sure.
on one of the. I would put it on one of the giants, but I guess it doesn't really make sense. Oh yeah, double Mountain Giant. Look, there you go.
2 4s.
So he's got
2 3s.
he's got other
Wow.
6 giants, or
He could
6
play-
cost giants.
He could play 2 mountain giants and a duplicate again if he wanted. That'd be suicide, but he could do it if he wanted. Does he? Is he gonna have to play the Belcher this turn just to at least alleviate some of the damage?
It might be.
He can't. He can't stop the giant damage though, so it's.
He's missing damage. If he had Antonitis and ability to play a spell, I think this game is almost guaranteed. But he doesn't have it.
Okay, because of that, all right, he can Belcher. He can Frostbolt. I mean, he's got a Mountain Giant first, and then Belcher Frostbolt one of the giants. That unless Rag or, I mean, that'd be really and make it a lot harder for him to actually pop the ice block here.
What to do? What to do?
Would Leroy still do it? Let's see. Leroy Power would still do it. That's a lot to invest into that play, though. I don't know he would actually do that. Ooh, this is a tough turn for Gaara. Yeah, I think he has to do that. I think he has to freeze one of the giants. I mean, that makes it the hardest for him to pop the bubble. Throw the Belcher down in a Mountain Giant. Whereas Mountain Giant, Belcher, freeze. Yeah, that's the order. No, he's...
Doomsayer. Wow. Good for you, Gaara. Good for you.
Wow.
He's saying you have no second Shadow Flame. I mean, now there's a lot of ways for Trump to play this turn, but the most important objective is just to pop the ice block, no matter how it goes. I mean, I think you're kind of
Gaara
okay losing the board, and then having Soulfire is lethal.
Yeah, I mean,
What's-
you can
what's
take
so
him down
bad
to
about
1. I mean... No, you can take him down to 2. 2.
Hmm?
You can take him down to 2, right? Like, when you pop the bubble. and-
Yes.
Yeah, just
believe
it's
so.
actually fine for him to lose the board. I mean, he might be what could Gaara actually have to? I mean, there's no
Fire.
fireballs in this deck. You know, it's
The worst case scenario. Okay, so if the worst case scenario is he has Antonius and Ice Block again, so then you Siphon Soul like a giant or something.
I feel like this is almost like a mind game play by Gaara, like
Huh.
basically saying that he has another ice block
I got this.
and he's not worried about this play right here. And Trump just not being baited by the removal here. At least the removal of the Doomsayer.
Wow, this rat could go to the face and miss the giants, by the way. Right?
Yeah, and it does. Wow.
That's funny.
But that's okay. I mean,
That's fine. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Gaara didn't draw anything else. He can't even survive this turn.
no, he can't. Yeah, I feel like it was more of a mind game play there. He was just trying to bait him into doing something about that, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, wasn't going to matter. Trump actually has multiple ways to win, even if that board was cleared.
All right, I don't see a way out of this for Gaara.
I don't see a way.
Like, even if Rag just missed everything and he played Belcher, traded Giants, Frostbolt, because we know that Trump has
Well-
direct damage spells, so no matter how it's cut, but
Yeah.
I think, like, there's so many things that kill you. It's just, like, Leroy, Hellfire, Soulfire.
Yeah, I think
like
for
a-
Gaara, I mean, he's just to survive, like from what he knows on the board, he's got to play Belcher. He's got to remove one of the small minions with his Frostbolt, and then just crash the giants into the taunts. Yeah, and that doesn't guarantee he dies here. If he has the Frostbolt too.
I think you
Oh
Frostbolt
no,
yourself.
actually, you have a secondary target. You already have a secondary target in the giant too, so it's kind of 50. But Frostbolting guarantees another target. There you go.
Okay. You know what? It makes it look like it might be...
Yeah, it's an ice block. It's another
Ice
mind
block.
game.
Does Trump fall for it? No way. You so far the face. Go for it.
I don't know. Sometimes you just get too caught up in your reads. It's
No, because
oh my gosh, the an epic.
okay,
mind
if you're
game, if it
really
falls for it.
unsure, Siphon Soul is 3/5, and then it just attack through.
Okay, there you go.
Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing else that could go wrong.
Yeah, you siphon soul it, and then you just pop it with a 2. You're gonna pop it with the 2/3 anyway.
He's testing for duplicate, and he sees
Oh,
duplicate.
there you go. Yeah.
Nothing to be worried about. All right. There you go.
All right.
Nothing.
Trump pulls up 2-1 in this series. Ooh, pretty tense game. And these games are tense between the two of these guys. They're definitely making for some entertainment. Who the last semifinalist is going to be today.
Gul'dan versus Thrall.
That's right.
Here we go.
We are actually at the midway point of the day, Chan man.
Man, this is going
Halfway
to be
there,
a long day, man. Long day. Long day of goodness. All right. Great stuff. Ooh, Manatide Totem. It's interesting you kept the Manatide Totem.
Oh, Manatide is so good in control matchups
Yeah.
because, especially against a passive class or archetype like Handlock, it's often so annoying that your opponent has to deal with it through something such as Hellfire or like Soulfire. Like, it's not really that good. So like plopping it down is often like just a way to like harass your opponent, like to start making them feel uncomfortable with how many cards you're drawing. Now, an Ancient Watcher on turn 2 is a little nerve-wracking if you're the Shaman player, because now it's like, well, this Handlock wants to play aggressive. So you have to really think about how you want to, if you do this. If you put like a Feral Spirits, then you don't actually have a turn 2 because you don't have enough mana.
Yeah. That's a killer. Yeah, that owl is going to be pretty brutal here.
Yeah, because then the logic is if he silences it, then he kills off the owl, and then he might have the ability to answer based off of a 1 mana draw like Rockbiter or Lightning Bolt, and then actually have the board. Ah, but a Soulfire. Okay, so this is already looking pretty good for Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to start seeing a pretty aggressive move by the handlock, and that's one of the things that adding like Belcher to this deck has allowed for too. You're actually you actually have the versatility of actually having some kind of aggressive mid game. If you choose, if you choose to not really take advantage of the discounts or just holding a lot of cards for your discounts on your Mountain Giant. Because even Twilight Drake 4/4,
Discounts.
it's not bad.
It's a 4/3 here.
4/3, yeah.
And
It's
I
still-
guess Earthshock gets value, so Gaara's happy about that. I wonder if he tosses out Manatide along with the Earthshock in order just to draw a card. Because look how far behind Handlock is card-wise.
Yeah, it'd be
And
a
then
draw
it's like
card.
basically
Yeah,
gain 4 life, draw a card.
yeah, it'd be a 4 heal too. That's true.
I wonder.
Wouldn't be bad. And
I think it's his best play.
the one thing you just don't want is a Defender of Argus, and then the Owl does it, gets the kill.
Even if the owl gets the kill, it's still 3. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's still 3 heal too.
Either way, you want an Earthshock, so that's the play for sure. Alright, what card does he draw? Ah, Narukineg is actually really powerful against Amla. Ooh. Hellfire's liability
That's
now.
actually a good draw.
Coil's
Great
good.
draw. Do you put the Sun Fairy? Just keep pressuring here?
Yeah, I guess you stay consistent with your line. You're not really trying
Yeah.
to go for Molten Giants, clearly.
Yeah.
Hellfire is actually, interesting enough, a bad draw for the handlock. It's usually one of the MVP cards, but it kills his own board at the moment. So until he draws a Farseer, it's a no-go.
You are really drawing bad here. I mean, he's got a lot of minions he could be drawing here. That's
He's got Fire
below 4 mana. Yeah, fire. He's delayed enough now that he can get to some of these power
my.
turns. Shadow Flame. Got to tap here.
I don't
Faceless.
mind a Shadow Flame on this, because you can clear board by Shadow Flaming. But I think it's a little wasteful considering that's your main AoE go-to right now. And you still have to react to what your opponent's doing on turn 6.
I got this.
Okay, well, Trump started off really, really quick with this handlock, but it's kind of rounding out now. I think the Shaman's going to be able to start stabilizing this board.
Yeah. It's smart because Trump saw that Gaara's running Bloodlust Shaman, and the most important way to fight this is to deny the board.
I think we might have lost Frodan in a second there.
I think Gaara, like, he sees his opponents tapping a lot. Oh, wow. Faceless Manipulator on a 6/5.
Yeah,
Sounds like
this
a
is
mini
aggression.
giant.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, this like I said, this is kind of cool to see that from the handlock. Handlock's typically played with such a control style that Trump just sensing what he started out with, really been consistent with his line, and it's getting very low for the Shaman at this point. He's got 2
true.
defenders. He can slow this down quite a bit now, but I mean, the Shaman has no way
Yeah.
of healing. In 10, oh my gosh, there's many ways to get 10 damage from this handlock. Leroy, Soulfires. He's got one more Soulfire, but Leroy even power is
I like
pretty
like
easy.
an egg defender play. Kill off the 2/1 and then trade, so that way your opponent can't Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
That seems pretty reasonable. You can also do the same thing with Unbound if you don't want to put the second egg out there. But I think second egg just makes you really strong against Shadow Flame
I wonder.
or Hellfire. Overall, it seems like a great building tool. Okay, Gaara taking the same line. Honestly, Unbound isn't bad either. It's much stronger power, but ooh, Trump drew Leroy, so he's
There
very
it
close
is.
to
He's
killing his
very
opponent. Wait,
exactly. It's
oh,
extreme
he
right now.
can't lethal though, right? Because the Sun Fury will die in the Hellfire.
He's so close. Oh my gosh. Oh,
How
there's
about
a
now?
wow. That's a great draw.
How
Can
about
he?
now? Does that change it?
No, but he can. Oh man. Well, he has to use the owl. I think the owl is going to be a good play here. Oh, he's thinking about the giant actually.
So many possibilities.
Okay, so he can eliminate the taunts this turn, and not really be in any threat of dying the following turn. And then he's got Leroy for 6, Hellfire for 3. He could draw onto power. Or 2 draws that I think he has. Or do you want to establish the board and just try to get that damage, the following turn?
I mean, do what you gotta do.
Do you pop here?
Pop the egg? I don't think so. Popped egg would incur a certain wrath that you don't want. I think you want him to
Yeah, I
feel
don't-
inclined to trade. Because, like,
Possibilities.
yeah, now what Gaara
Yeah.
could do is use Flame Tongue Totem and Defender again.
Yeah, I think the thing about not popping the Hellfire actually pops both anyways, so there's really no point in you giving him, I guess, an easier ability to remove your giant.
What to do?
Okay. Well, I think
Right, taunt
there's
up another
an
few more,
opportunity
right?
here to clear the board with Flame Tongue Totem and Fire Elemental. Right?
Yeah,
I think
that's
if
right.
you Fire Elemental the Mountain Giant and use the Defender and an Egg to trade, and then it'll slide in, the Flame Tongue will
Yeah,
slide in and
that's right.
give 3 attack and kill off the Sun Fury.
Oh, that'd be a great turn, actually.
Because it seems very clear that like Trump hesitated for a long time and then played Mountain Giant. So Gaara's thought must be that he has some ability to potentially kill him.
Okay, here we go. I think that's going to be the play here. Whoa, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't really matter actually. How you get the 3? Better do it quick.
Yeah, he's fine.
There we go. All right, now we're
back
gonna.
over to Trump. He's 1 damage off lethal at the moment. Power Overwhelming,
Yeah, this-
Soulfire. Oh, Power Overwhelming!
Oh
That's
wow,
it.
and
That's
that's exactly it.
What he needs. There you go.
What? Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can do it either way. You can do Hellfire. There we go. Nice. Trump takes a 3-1 advantage over Gaara now. Handlock actually played a different style, not your typical, like late game type of style. Way more aggressive here, and it pays off for Trump. Gets that Leroy power overwhelming at the right time, and Gaara is going to have to use his last deck, the Paladin. He's got to hope that's going to be able to sweep Trump. And let's
Wow.
take a look at this Paladin here. Wow,
Trump doing
great game by
work.
Trump.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, once again, would kind of wallow in a bad matchup saying, oh, well, I guess it's going to be like up to luck again. I better get my 4 drops, Mountain Giant, and Twilight Drake, and cross my fingers
Right.
he doesn't have the removal.
Mhm.
But he recognized, hey, I have a hand where I can play a little bit more aggressive and then try to catch up in the mid game through my hero power. And he did it perfectly, and I don't see it recognizing any mistakes. So it was a very good recognition from Trump to turn on the gas, and then from there, Gaara played with whatever he could. I felt like Gaara just did everything at his disposal, but in the end, Trump just got the right draw to finish the game
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean, even one of those, key turns I think for Trump was just committing the Sun Fairy Protector when he had the 2 Mullins too. So I think that was, that played into a factor, got him enough damage to have exactly what he needed there for lethal at the end. But okay, let's take a look at Gaara's Paladin deck. This is the first time we've seen Avenge, I believe, in Deck Wars, any of the weeks or even the finals. And he's also got Fugan and Stalag. So I'm very, very excited to see this Paladin in action. What do you think about Avenge, Frodan? Have you had a lot of experience with it?
Yeah, I've actually played way too much with Avenge to the point where I regret playing. with Avenge. It's like it's a card that requires so much setup, and like it can go so wrong because the way the +3/+2 works is that it can actually betray you by making the minion that you want to go on like not that as good. So like sometimes it prevents you from wanting the hero power because you don't want it to go on a target that's like that becomes a 4/3 as
Mhm.
opposed to something
Mhm.
else. But one thing that is cool is the synergy it has um, in like really big control matchups where they feel like cycling a card like Mortal Coil is kind of harmless.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's got room to do some cool, surprising things.
All right. Well, the players are ready. Going to go into game number 5. Gaara trying to stay alive here, keep his tournament hopes alive, and winner here moves on to the semifinals.
Your soul
All
shall be
right. Let's see.
mine.
Oh, we're gonna see Thaddeus. We're gonna see another Thaddeus sighting. We've already seen one.
Maybe. Definitely not the MVP card of versus Handlock. I think Gaara
Yeah.
still cares about equality and consecration, peacekeepers,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got 2 peacekeepers, so a pretty decent start for Gaara. I think he'd also like to get Spellbreaker in line, so that way he has an answer to Twilight Drake.
Yeah. Well, the Aldor, you're gonna wanna. The Aldor's most effective, I think, on the Twilight Drakes, like on turn 4, just because, the silences, the owls can actually negate the humility effect on the giants, and just totally deny that. So there we go. Right, pretty good start. Definitely a good start from Gaara here.
Yeah, it curves pretty nicely.
Yeah, definitely.
Haunted Creeper is a card that I really underestimated in Paladin because I felt like it was just not really strong enough, but it's the same thing as like hero powering 3 times on turn 2 because you just get
Oh.
3 tokens worth of
Okay,
damage,
that's
and
a
then
cool way of thinking of it.
like the synergy that you have with True Silver Champion if you have 3 1/1 tokens that spread over time is
Yeah.
pretty good. It's pretty massive.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how many instances or scenarios you have where you're having to remove 5 health. Some people in the past have used like Elven Archer, but hold on a second.
Okay. Chairman having little mic issues there. Yeah, I think here
we go.
Gaara really wants to go for a silence play. Oh, sorry, a silence play. A peacekeeper play, but then you're always afraid of silence and then making your peacekeeper kind of useless. Because you always want to follow up peacekeeper with something else, like True Silver Champion to smack it down. In fact, I wonder if Gar's thinking of alternative of using humility and then True Silver to start whacking away.
Yeah, that'd be a good option. Be a good turn there.
I must move quickly.
Doesn't
You
feel
could
like a
definitely
very
handle-
good use of the coin.
Follow the rule.
But
Yeah,
it is
Peacekeeper
pretty
has to-
painful, man. It's so painful when it is silenced though.
Battle.
But fortunately for him, Trump doesn't have it. It's going to be chipping away at it though. Definitely good to get it off the board as soon as possible.
All right, Trump can start cycling through if he wants to draw closer to another 4-drop with Mortal Coil. Or he can Hellfire and drop his own minions if he really feels threatened by what's on board. Which you shouldn't underestimate. Like, it can kill, like a True Silver can kill off your giant pretty easily, and then whatever you put out also gets answered, so Hellfire might be a legitimate play here. You can even Mortal Coil into Hellfire off of the very weak body,
Yeah.
so that way you get the death rattle effects.
Yeah. That would be really good. Okay, so this game definitely getting off to a much slower start than the last one. To be expected. This matchup is typically one where you just kind of slug it out and go into the late game here.
Yeah, but these early moves are so important, like to plan out correctly, because like how Paladin sets up every single board to answer a big threat will like dictate how strong a quality becomes. Because as you saw with Nimsh versus Koyuki, if you just don't really pace yourself on the board correctly, then you might have to use a quality way before you need to, and then your opponent recognizes you don't have an answer, and in which case they don't ever have to press, and then they just have like 2 or 3 minions. Versus a quality wants to hit like, 4 or 5 minion boards and go for like massive sweeps, and then like you just completely destroy your opponent.
Right. Well, something unfortunate for Gaara is he hasn't been able to draw that Kodo quite yet. Considering on that humility, Kodo is really a really great option to removing these giants too.
Yep. Whack the giant. Make sure it doesn't get silence and then faceless or something. All right.
Hey, Trump.
Ooh.
He's got a lot of those small minions in his hand, as Watchers and some lots of taunters in his hand.
How humiliating for the mighty mountain
really
giant to
fun.
be taken down by this knight with a shield.
My shield for Argus.
Alright, he's gonna taunt it up now.
That is just embarrassing. Like if you're the mountain giant. Ancient Watchers,
Another
like,
Watcher.
I'll show you how it's done, bro.
Well, Mountain Giant's at 2 now. He's growing an extra finger.
Oh, he's dead.
There he's gone.
Oh, he
He's
did.
done. Crumbles. He crumbles.
Faith in the light.
Oh, Tyrion.
Oh,
He
wow.
recognized that his opponent didn't have silence for a while. And now Trump is caught in a dilemma where you want to kill off Tyrion, but you're giving him the 5-3 Ashbringer. I like it. It's good recognition from Gaara to immediately play
Yeah.
it. Of course, his alternative play was also weak, so it didn't help that he didn't have another threat to play.
Oh, this is really good because if he doesn't deal with Tyrion, he can even faceless that too, which would be crazy good. But I'm thinking he's going to have to Siphon Soul this. Otherwise, he gives a lot. Well, no, I guess he can crash the 2-3 into the Divine Shield, and not give him crazy value for the Divine Shield.
If he wants to break the shield, he shouldn't bother Siphon Souling. He should like Leroy into it, but then you give up a win condition because you don't have the late game burst. And that's one of the ways to kill Paladin. If you can get them down to a certain point and then burst them with Leroy before they can heal up.
Almost out of time.
Well, and also, like, against Paladin, the Handlock's able to always bank, like, a ton of cards. So, there's been many times where I've played Paladin against Handlock that they end up pulling off that 24 combo on me with the Soulfire. Given he's only at 29, you just have to chip away at him just a tiny bit here.
Yeah, it could be tough for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, Black
man.
Knight. Wow.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. You have equality already, so that way you can reset the board when giants come out, but off the top, you got Black Knight.
And that's great, because the Ancient Watchers are one of those things that Handlocks try to draw out equality. And, being able to nail the Black Knight on it, that's going to be really great for Trump, or it's for Gaara here.
You don't need to, though. That's the thing. Like, you can still use Ashbringer.
Oh, you think so? Just try to get even more value from it? Okay. You do bring yourself down to that crazy combo range. I think you take it. I think you take the opportunity now to get it. I'm also get a 4-5 on the board too, which will help you answer anything else he puts down. Like a Belcher, that'd be great. Well, that Belcher, you already have the Ashbringer too, so not as big of a threat. But there's a Twilight Drake there. All right, Trump, got to play something here. So many taunters. He's got a ton of taunters. He's still got 2 Sun Fury protectors, as well as a Belcher. So I'm expecting him to throw at least one of them up here. All right, Twilight Drake. All right, Twilight Drake on the board here.
I'm back, Jan Man. Sorry about that.
Yep, it's okay. We just
Skype
having
being
some call
uncooperative.
issues. Yeah, we've been sorry about that, guys. We got to restart that, And okay, what'd you miss? So you saw the Black Knight?
Did he go for it?
Yeah, he went for it. He went for the Black
Ex-
Knight, and now Trump's responded with the Twilight Drake and a Belcher.
Oh,
So
excellent
now we're looking at
choice.
Gaara. So we've got a Fugan, I believe, now from Gaara that he just drew.
Okay.
Be cool to get on the board here, but he can deal with this Belcher pretty easily.
Yeah, he's got a clean defender play, looks like. The problem is he doesn't want to extend too much into Shadow Flame. So he might opt to play this really conservatively.
Yeah, I think you remove that. I think you just humility on the Drake, and then I think you could maybe you could play one more minion here. Yeah, I mean playing a Fugan's not terrible.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think it's still pretty good. Even if you get, I mean Shadow Flame, he still has to have a minion that he's going to Shadow Flame, and if he uses power here, then at least you know the combo's out of range. What happened?
All right.
Did he miss one?
No. He specifically typed he didn't miss one.
Oh.
Because he doesn't want to enable double Molten Giant. Because if you tap and you had double, you would be able to play both of them.
Yeah.
And then if you have 15 health, you can tap to 13 and then play two Molten Giants, and then Sun Fury. So you don't want to give him 15 health or less. Okay, now Trump, can he do something about this board? He has Leroy Shadow Flame, of course, but that's that's like the nuke button. You don't want to do it unless you absolutely have to. But he might absolutely have to.
Oh man, given the alternative here, he's down to 16. I mean, your opponent, he might have noticed his opponent purposely not hitting him one. Also, it could mean him playing against Molten Giant. It could also mean him setting up for lethal next turn, which he does have it right now, right? So I think it is the nuke button time.
Okay.
Leroy, remove it. You still got plenty of power in this deck. Still got both your Moltens. Got your Ragnaros. You can still take down this Paladin.
I think Gaara thought he might have lost. That's why he tossed out well played. He thought maybe he was going for some wombo combos. Because he was at 24, right? So he could have been in trouble. But Gaara drew lay on hands.
Huge.
That is a big draw again. So
Huge
back-to-back
draw.
big draws.
Oh, now Shades too. A little late for Shades, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's at least a minion that can get avenged.
Reporting for duty.
Okay. Token. It's good. Challenge the Drake. Make it vulnerable to Ashbringer Sling.
Ashbringer. Yeah. Okay, still got that Twilight Drake there. And he's drawn out all the humilities and the Aldors now, so he knows that he's going to have to force equality, or equalities are going to be the main way for Gaara to remove any of his problematic minions now. I think a Drake's
that's
not too
right,
much
there's-
of an investment. Yeah, it's not too much of an investment at this point.
Yeah, there's not much, there's not many disables, I think, left in the Paladin's deck other than equality.
I don't think he needs to taunt here.
The only reason you taunt is if you feel like you might die against the Paladin. Right in this scenario. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, he's going to still use his Ashbringer to clear the board, because that's what Paladin does. And you're just giving another reason for him to use equality.
I can't see. I mean, 14. I mean, even with 9, Paladin generally not going to be able to do 9 here. Maybe a Rag, but that's only 8, and even Avenging Wrath's not going to be able to do it. And most Paladins don't even run that right now. So I feel like anything he throws down at this point is just going to be potentially lost to equality.
That's true. And now Gaara has 2 equalities, which I think he's going to feel a lot more liberal with it. Pyro, equality, Cairn.
Yeah, this is a great turn for him.
Next turn you have Faceless. So it's going to be pretty nasty. And like I think Trump really wanted to bait out equality, but I feel like he might have been able to do so just with like a Drake and like a Farseer, or like a Drake and a Sun Fury. I don't know.
All right, yeah. Now Gaara is looking at again a faceless, like you said, even an avenge, equipped in an avenge at this point. You're gonna, you could even Argus and really force the removal there. It might be too much of an investment to do that, but all right. See how Trump responds here. He can play the Molten Giant now.
Oh yeah.
If your opponent just played an equality.
Yeah, I think so. And you can set up Lotheb. But then, you know, Equality 2 exists in the deck, and your opponent has drawn through a pretty big portion of it through Lay on Hands. Huh.
Well, at this point, your opponent is representing 9 damage, and you've only got 12 health now. So
Yeah. It's a good point.
that's definitely something you've got to talk.
Oh.
And even though Gar's got a quality, he doesn't have a Pyro or a Consecrate. And we saw that earlier too with Nimsh having that last equality, but nothing to clear the board with. And he ended up being stuck with it when he lost with it. That's pretty tough. Faceless Argus here?
Seems pretty decent, and you play Avenge. Because if you play Avenge and it lands on the Karen, it actually becomes a
My
giant.
shield for Argus.
It becomes an 8/8.
That's a good point. You become a giant now.
Oh, never mind. He sacrificed immediately. Ah, that's perfectly fine as well. Oh my goodness! Faceless on your opponent's faceless Cairn. That is pretty good. Like, almost as good as it gets with a faceless manipulator short of killing your opponent.
Yeah. That's pretty good. There's no more
Like, before this, I would say Trump was in a almost...
is really tough to get rid of at this point.
You can also
Alright.
power overwhelming clear. I just realized this too. So you could faceless power overwhelming shadow flame. That is an insane turn. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, it survives this hit too from the power overwhelming.
Yep.
Oh,
Wait.
that's crazy.
This is Avenge too, so you actually need to make sure. Oh, it won't kill off. If it lands on Bane, it won't actually kill with a Shadow Flame, I think. Unless you have to target it directly onto the Farseer. If this lands on Bane, then it will live. Oh, it ends up living.
It does living. Well, yeah, it's true.
So you have to Soulfire it now. Like, you needed to use this on Farseer.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yep. Now you lose Farseer and Sun Fury Protector. But Trump didn't... He wasn't sure if he was playing around Avenge.
Yeah, true.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh my
look
god!
at that.
Spellbreaker
Great draw
off the
there.
top.
Oh man, it's still going to be a 4 or 5 though. Still
These
pretty
top
strong.
deck wars
mid-
are amazing. It's
Yeah,
always so fun
exactly.
to watch.
Your magic shall
Top
not
deck.
save you. Reporting for duty.
Okay. Well, Trump can take solace in the fact that it seems like his opponent has slowed down with the threats. And Trump has 4 damage. Gaara's at 15, right?
Oh, Ragnaros.
Wow.
Man.
Oh, do you feel like your opponent has second equality?
Man, you really want to use the Soulfire here too. That's rough. You almost didn't want to draw Ragnaros there. Just dump your hand.
Yeah, Soulfire now feels so risky. But,
Wow.
do you go for it? Do you Soulfire this 4/3?
I think you waited. Oh man, this is tough.
The difference between waiting a turn can be the difference between finding your window to win the game.
I know, exactly. Okay, yeah, so he denies the
Wow,
card.
he
I
is
think
really
that's
safe.
good. And you play Lothep behind us. Yeah. I think if you do it this way, you don't need the Soulfire at this point. You can just go Lothep here.
Alright, no YOLO rag
Yeah,
from Trump.
it's coming.
Slightly
YOLO.
disappointed, but I'm impressed with his patience.
Okay, let's see how Gaara responds. He can't he could only Pyromancer and clear board that way, but didn't draw it. But he does draw Consecrate, so we'll have it next turn.
So he's
Oh
got
man,
it.
are we gonna see a yellow rag? Oh, I think we might see a yellow rag here. Oh, is that too much value for the mayor? Guys?
How much health is he at?
Who?
Is it a 50-50?
Gaara's at 13.
Oh, it's gonna. Actually, it's not. It's either
Yeah,
happens
isn't
or
it? No.
No, okay. I thought he was at 13.
No, he's not. He's at 8. Looks like he's at 18, I guess, or he's at 13 now. Okay, he's at 18.
Damn it, I'm confused. Either way, oh man. Okay, so quality consecration has to come down. Oh well, you don't have to consecrate, but I highly suggest it.
Oh, you totally consecrate, right? I mean, you get the load up too if you do that, and your Naxxramas your Shades of Naxxramas will just keep buffing up. I think you do. Because if you remove Rag, they still have a really nice board.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, you go with that.
the
This is getting
alternative of leaving Rag does not seem very good, and he's worried about Molten Giants for sure. But I don't think that's what your focus is on. Focus has to be on being able to take care of this.
Yeah, this board is much worse than the single Molten Giant that Trump has left.
Which, I don't know, I think Gaara should... Well, okay, so if he doesn't have a way to Soulfire this, he actually... Oh man.
Well,
He's playing Zoo now. He's gonna Soulfire, tap, and then play Molten Giant.
oh, that would be sick.
No, that's exactly what's gonna happen. He's down to 4 cards.
Or is he? Okay.
Like, if it's not... Did he use Mortal Coil already? I don't know.
He used more coil, yes, he did.
Oh, it is Molten Giant. Okay, so he tapped because if it was Molten Giant, he was going to play it anyways. And he loses second Soulfire.
Can Gaara get here? Can Gaara get anything here to... Lotus? No, that's good. He can heal up enough to not die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His opponent's at 11 health, or 11 damage, and
Not
he
great.
has... He has 13 health, so he trusts that he won't die. His opponent has 2 cards left. Trump has 3 health left? 5 health left?
5 health.
Okay.
There's nothing that shoots over.
I think one of Gaara's cards that he's really looking for is True Silver Champion as direct damage. Trump's almost out of cards. Iron Beak Owl. Pretty useless here. But Trump cannot tap or do anything. He just has to... I feel like he has to push.
Oh, absolutely. I think you just push. I mean, you force your opponent to have to deal with... I mean, he can barely even deal with Belcher. Get through Belcher.
What if he has BGH? Do you kill the 5/6 before it allows you to die?
If you kill 5/6, then you're basically prolonging the game for a turn for sure, right? You're lethal. You can't lethal next turn.
Right.
I don't think you do. I think you push face. Force your opponent to have to deal with that. I mean, he
Oh my
he can
goodness.
barely get through it.
I just realized that I think Gaara is going to be relying on Sunwalker.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
that's where Ironbeak Owl is going to be really big. Unless Gaara doesn't run Sunwalker. Oh no, he runs the...
Well, Gaara, I know
Stalag
Stalag.
and Fusion.
He's got Stalag. Yeah, he's got Stalag left,
Oh.
and God, what else did he have?
He needs to push right here then.
Yeah, he's got to totally push. I mean, Trump needs to push here.
But if Gaara draws True Silver Champion, it's over. Right?
He's got
Because True Silver
Stealth
Champion
Ring.
allows him to kill through. So it's
If he's
basically the weapon or bust.
Oh,
Oh, it's Stalag. And I think that's it. There's nothing Gaara can do.
Oh man, that's it. That's kind of why you push there, and yep, that's gonna be it, man. Wow, that was great. These games between these two were so close. And Trump takes the series 4-1, advances to the semifinals, and wow, great games, man. All five of those were highly contested to the end. All right.